There is a feature on the Bose QuietComfort 2s that is incredibly rare to see nowadays. What they've done is they've added an additional dimension of control on the earbud itself, and it's simply slide across the surface to adjust the volume, slide down to lower the volume, slide up to increase the volume. Pretty simple, huh? And usually you would have to trade this with things like your voice assistant or noise cancellation on and off, but the Bose has them all. I've been using these for about 3 weeks now, and I want to share what I've learned about them so far so that you can make your purchase decision more appropriately. It's funny, but the Bose actually reminds me or takes me back about 5 years ago when these guys were one of my most favorite wireless earbuds ever, the Samsung Icon Xs. And these also had the feature for you to change the volume by sliding across its surface. They were comfortable, they had pretty decent sound, they had a built-in equalizer. They even had onboard storage for you to load your MP3 files onto it so that you can go about untethered. And this would also mean you get more battery life out of it as well. This even had an accelerometer so that when you start to run, it knows, and it became like a coach in your ear to encourage you, sort of gimmicky, but whatever. These things also had a very good aware or transparency mode for you to listen to your environment and surroundings, though it did not have active noise cancellation. All of this got introduced at about $130 back in the day. And it seems like we haven't really achieved much in these past 5 years. Everyone's competing over noise cancelling. Sound quality is also definitely better, but that's about it. Now here I am with one of the most iconic brands in audio about half a decade later, and it made me dig up the past and think, I feel like I had more back then. I mean, it feels like a small thing, but these Icon Xs could also be used one earbud at a time, something that the Bose lacked at launch. Several months later, they had to introduce the feature using a software update that you can use each of these earbuds independently. These costed me around 299 Canadian dollars right now on the Prime Day sale, but they retail at about 370 Canadian dollars. But you can see them quite often at 330. Just a quick word before I move ahead. If you find the content in my video to be useful, please do consider liking and subscribing. It offers me a great deal of encouragement. Now, I meant for the Bose to actually replace my Beats Fit Pros right here. Why? Well, they felt slightly uncomfortable because of this wingtip design which rested inside my ear right here. Also, Beats for some reason did not offer an equalizer built into their app. Maybe it's an Android thing. And it also has like a physical key here. This is not a capacitive. This surface is not capacitive. Nothing happens when I click it, touch it, tap it, whatever. It's just a physical key right here. So that meant that when I went to sleep and rested my head against the pillow, it would click the key, and that meant my songs would pause, play, forward, whatever, right? So that was obviously inconvenient. So I wanted to go back to capacitive. Though I should mention the physical key was an excellent feature to have in wintertime when you have something over your ear. So you just sort of tap across the surface, or when you're wearing gloves even. It's a good feature to have in those circumstances. Also, I was looking for something that wasn't white. For some reason, the color and the way it sort of sticks out of my ear just didn't suit me. Colors where the Bose gets off to a flying start. They call this the midnight blue, this deep blue sort of color. It's definitely different from your standard black or white. It has this matte finish all across its case and all the way on the inside as well. And I like the combination of the deep blue with that pale copper color across the Bose logo. I also personally think that these look better in my ear compared to the Beats Pros because they don't stick out as much. Also, like the darker shades tends to suit me as well. So this is what it looks like on the Bose. Actually, this feels a little bit special because they stand out in a sea of all of those white AirPods sticking out of everyone's ears in that crowd. These are definitely different. The case itself is kind of nice, a little bit boxier compared to the Beats, and also a little bit easier to hold on to. The Beats had a tendency of slipping out of my hand quite a lot, so these have fallen down quite a bit. These have not so far. That being said, compared to the Beats, it's actually kind of possible to open the Bose with just one hand, but it's a little bit difficult to pull it out of the case sometimes because you get this really small sort of an edge for you to use your thumb and your index finger to grip onto it and pull it out. They give you a little bit of a lip actually at the very edge so that you can grip onto it. These have fallen out of my hand as soon as I pull them out, but I guess it's something that you can get used to eventually with time. But yes, something nobody's happy about. No wireless charging on this considering the price tag that these guys are sporting. When it comes to comfort though, these things definitely feel softer in my ear in comparison to the Beats. They may not look like it, but they do sit deeper in the ear canal as well. I played around with the provided ear tips and like the wing tips so that I can see which combination suits me best. Usually the smaller size suits me best, but for some reason they were strangely itchy, like the bits that Bose provided. I think they've got slightly flared out tips, and like that edge seems to rub against the inside of my ear canal, and that was annoying. I think it's gotten better over time since I've been using it. Now here's the thing, it is very common to see me with just one earbud in my ear most of the time. I will try to take all of my calls on my earbuds. I don't even remember the last time I stuck the phone next to my face to take a call. So for me, and this may be a very personal definition, earbud comfort is not even realizing that they're there in the first place. Like, they need to be light and they need to be so comfortable that you forget that they're even there. A very critical dependency is also on that transparency or aware mode. So the ability of these earbuds to listen to your surroundings and just channel them onwards to you, because otherwise you would know that there is basically an earplug shoved in your head. So if you're just sort of using one earbud at a time, it might feel a little bit heavy on one side. So with a good transparency mode, which makes your surrounding sounds feel sort of natural, you barely feel the fatigue. The Beats actually did a very good job at this. They had two microphones on. See what I mean? I keep dropping them. It's just this weird case design that you can. Anyway, it uses two mics at the front here. There's a slit right there at the front, and there's one at the back. So they use both mics to pick up sound from your environment and transfer them onwards to you. It feels pretty natural, it feels pretty alright. But when it comes to the Bose, from what I understand, they're just using the one mic that you see right on top. And that's the only thing that it uses to transfer the environment sound to you. It might happen, it happened quite a few times with me, that I will, when reaching for the controls, even if I have my finger on this mic vent for a split second, it temporarily engages your noise cancellation mode. And it just sort of fades out after 1 to 2 seconds. It's not grossly annoying, but when it happens quite a few times, it just feels like a weird imbalance in your head. Even if you're out on a windy day, if the wind is blowing towards you in a certain direction, it constantly engages and disengages your noise cancellation mode. And in one of my commuting trips, it just gave me a headache. Sometimes this one switched on, sometimes this one switched on. Just not that great. When compared to the Beats, like the aware mode feels a little bit more muffled than the Bose. They just sound a little bit muted for some reason. So when you put these in your ear, every time you take them out for like a few seconds and put them back in again, you will hear a kind of like a chime. And that is intended to check like the seal of the earbuds for passive noise isolation within your ear canal. And that sounds great on paper, right? But here's the thing, when I intentionally gave myself like a loose fit, like I know I can hear my surroundings right now, they're still in my ear, they still feel a little bit secure, but I know I don't have a good seal. I know I don't have a good seal. But even then, the noise will chime and it says you have a good seal. Even when I go to my phone app and ask it like, do you think I have a good seal? And it tells you, yep, everything's all good. It's only to the very edge, like it's like this is barely in my ear right now, and this is where I ask it to check my seal, is when it will tell me that the seal is not good. Even I know then the seal is definitely not good. Nobody wears earbuds like that. So this whole chime and checking the seal thing is sort of gimmicky from my perspective, at least. Also, other than the chime, I found like the voice narrator within these earbuds to be a little bit, well, synthetic or unrefined. I don't know if you can have a listen to this. I will cover the sensor, proximity sensor.
Battery 90%.
I don't know if you heard that. It does all the important things. It calls out when you have noise cancellation on or off, which profile you're in. When you insert them in your ear, it tells you your battery level. Connection to your phone is actually a pretty straightforward process. Use the Bose Music app to simply guide you to the connection process. It will detect the product when you have it open. It's gonna ask you to give it like a cheesy name through a list, and that's about it, right? But it really isn't, because there is a very big issue with the app. This has happened to me quite frequently, that I want to go into the app to, for example, adjust the equalizer, and the app just fails to detect these headphones at all. They will know when these earbuds are in their case, and it will say like the earbuds are charging. But as soon as I pop them out, instant amnesia. No idea who these guys are. Anyway, so when you're finally into the app, it's gonna give you a lot of educational tips. Oh, there you go again. I press the tips button and it's gone. So, okay, let's try this again. It's just not showing anything. Modes, I promise you this is gonna continue to load and nothing's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to quit the app and restart it. Let's see if this works. Connected. Let's try this again. Let's go to tips. Yes, now it opens up. So for example, how to use voice assistant, touch control, phone calls, noise cancellation modes. It's gonna give you like this educational material all throughout, which is all really nice actually, better than what I've experienced in other apps. You can decide things like oh no, see, it's gone again, because usually it shows you like a list below. Let me quit the app and rejoin. Again, let's go to shortcut. So there you see. So left shortcut, you can decide if you want to cycle through all of its awareness modes or like its noise cancellation mode, or you want to access your voice assistant, and then vice versa. So for example, right for me is voice assistant, right is noise cancellation, right? Oh no, it's gone again. So if I want to go to mode, okay, like god. And I've tested this on 2 phones. So this is my OnePlus, and I've also tested it the Samsung S22. They both have very similar experiences. When you go into the modes setting, these are basically your profile. You'll see quiet and you'll also see aware. Quiet is basically its noise cancellation maxed out to its full potential. It blocks everything out. And then aware is it letting sound through. You'll also see that you can add 2 more profiles to the app as well to distinguish between various levels of noise cancellation. I find that to be absolutely useless, and let me explain. That has got to do with this mode right here, active sense. And you'll see that it's currently disabled, and that's for good reason. So when this is enabled, your microphones are going to be picking up loud sounds from your environment, and when it hears something of the sort, for example like a bus whizzing by or like construction work happening as you walk by, it's going to activate noise cancellation and block those sounds out. On paper, yes, that sounds like a good idea. It helps you to stay focused on your music and not be distracted by your environment. So for me, aware mode exists because I want to be aware of my environment, especially if there is a particularly loud noise which could warn me of impending danger. But obviously Bose has a different stance to this. If there is, for example, a bus hurtling towards you, honking its horn at you, Bose says, chill out. I'll block all that noise out. That's just drama. You just continue listening to your music, all right? I feel like aware mode just needs to be completely aware. I mean, this mode exists so that you don't have to constantly take out your earbuds and pay attention to your environment. You can just simply tune in and tune out. But thankfully, Bose has provided you a way to turn it off, as I have. But remember not to be caught in too much of a windy situation, because that makes the noise cancellation quite excitable, as I had explained before. This is the part of my conversation which hopefully explains the title of this video. This is oppressive noise cancellation right here, the dictatorship of noise cancellation. The software also provides you a way to adjust the equalizer, which is a big plus compared to the Beats because they don't provide anything at all, at least on the Android software. You can specifically adjust 3 bands, bass, mids, and treble. Each can go 9 levels above the bassline or 9 levels below the bassline. It gives you some predefined presets, for example, bass boost and like treble boost, things like that. Naturally, my finger leapt directly into the bass boost button, and it was immediately apparent that the Bose is very capable when it comes to managing low frequencies. So that bass, that low down grunt, that grumble, it's all there. Like the sound rumbles, it spreads out. You can feel the bass moving in and moving out from something as tiny as this earbud right here. And I think that is a deeply impressive achievement. Bassheads would love the Bose QuietComfort 2s. In terms of hardware, Bose Canada's website is kind of silent on the size of the driver, but with research I found plausibly that it is around 9.3 millimeters compared to the Beats 9.5 millimeters, so they're still kind of similar. If I look really closely at the port though, I can see like this separation, like this divide in the ports, like a bifurcation. Maybe one is for bass, the other is for that dynamic sound. I tried to research on this, but I couldn't find anything at all. The earphones are compatible with Bluetooth Bluetooth 5.3. They support AAC and SBC codecs, but not the aptX. That's on par with second generation Apple AirPods Pros. Unfortunately, Android users are stuck with the SBC and AAC options, which are generally considered to be inefficient. So after getting fascinated by the bass for quite a few days, I missed having a more balanced representation of all of the sound frequencies that I'm listening to. So I started to play with the equalizer again to see if I can find a balanced enough version. These still continue to remain a little bit bass heavy. I just couldn't find a setting that reached the clarity that I experienced with my Beats Pros. So then I went back to the Beats. And then a few days later, I kind of missed the low down bass from the Bose. Also, I thought like the Bose handles sound at a lower volume really well. Like the bass continues to be very well represented even when you're listening to music at a lower volume. I think that's pretty impressive as well, because usually what would happen is that even when you lower the volume, like the bass will start to get flattened out a bit. In the Bose, that is not the case at all. I do think the Beats sound louder in comparison to the Bose, and they also handle the sound better at maxed out volumes. When I'm really in the zone and I want to listen to something at the highest volume possible. On the Bose though, even when you're watching regular TV series, like just like a sitcom, like I personally like watching Top Gear, yeah? On the Bose, even watching like a regular TV show on your phone felt a little bit more eventful than it needed to be. It's like wearing a tuxedo to every little event in your life. It still has thundering bass. It still has such a sense of occasion. I think Bose feels that it should treat every kind of media as a Christopher Nolan movie. So talking about the obvious, noise cancellation, which everyone obsesses about. I think all the other reviews may have covered that quite well already, but yes, the noise cancellation on the Bose is noticeably better when compared to the Beats. Like I think when it comes to just handling the humming sound around you, like air conditioning or aircraft noise or the noise of tire roar when you're in a vehicle, I think the Beats and Bose are handling it equally well. But when it comes to slightly higher frequency, when it comes to like a general dynamic environment, I think Bose does a better job at cancelling noise out, even a little bit better when it comes to even dialogue happening around you in your environment. An IPX4 rating means that these things can withstand light splashes, but that's about it. You can't wear it in heavy rain and can deal with light sweat, I think. So the Beats also actually have an IPX4 rating. Bose has advertised about 6 hours of juice from these earbuds alone, and that is the same for the Beats as well. In my experience, the Bose lasted around 5 hours, and I think I had the same experience with the Beats as well. Including the charges from the case, both advertise 24 hours of total use. Interestingly, they both don't have wireless charging as well. You can also pair these headphones with multiple devices. I've just tested it with the 2 devices, and what I like is when you put them in your ear, it will tell you which device it connected to, so that you're not running around confused about it. It's not like it'll be able to give you sound simultaneously from 2 devices together. You'll have to manually switch from the device itself to connect to this, and it will respond. And I think that's it for me. Just to share my concluding thoughts, when I considered like the sound quality, that low down bass, that rumble, along with that high quality noise cancellation, and of course the slide to increase or decrease volume, it would have been nicer if it had like wireless charging in here as well. And I have a generally long commute to work, and I rely on my earbuds quite a bit. And that whole oppressive noise cancellation episode just wasn't a good experience for me. I want to be able to listen to my environments and surroundings better because, hey, I like to listen to music while I work, and I want to be able to know what's going around me as well at the same time. So listen, if you are a basshead with generously proportioned ears and a strong desire to continue to listen to the music regardless of the peril around you, and cocoon yourself in this world of Bose opulence, you guys are gonna love these. So guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you found my content to be useful. If you did, again, don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thank you.